brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to be working with our 2001 Ford Ranger. We're going to show you how to remove and replace the steering column shift clamp and bushings. This information is the same from 1995 all the way to 2011 on the Rangers and is very similar to several other Ford vehicles. If you like this video, please click subscribe. We have a ton more information on this vehicle as well as many other makes and models. And if you need these parts for your vehicle, follow the link in the description over to 1AAuto.com. Here are the items you'll need for this repair. When working with or around any components of the airbag or SRS system, be sure to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery and allow the modules inside of the vehicle to fully power off for 30 minutes. SRS components can be identified by yellow wire harness wraps and yellow electrical connectors. Always be cautious around these components for power or static charges. We're going to use an 8mm socket and ratchet to loosen the terminal on the battery, or you can use a wrench. Loosen the clamp, wiggle it off of the terminal, and tuck it somewhere down to the side where it won't accidentally come back and complete the circuit. Ours is missing one, but you'll have to remove these 3 Phillips head screws. Tilt the column down, work off the top half of the clamshell. Place it out of the way. Unscrew the tilt column lever and remove the lower half of the clamshell. Remove the 4 7mm bolts, one here, 2 below the hood release, and 1 all the way by our left foot using a 7mm socket and ratchet. Slide the knee pan forward toward you to release the hooks and remove it from the vehicle. Remove these 5 8mm screws using a socket and ratchet. Remove the metal brace from the vehicle. Remove these 2 13mm nuts at the bottom of the column, securing the column and the U-brace. Remove the U-brace. Remove these 2 13mm nuts at the base of the column. We'll use the same 13mm socket, ratchet, and extension. 1 here and 1 on the opposite side of the column. Be careful when removing these as they are holding what remains of weight on the column. So you may want to hold up on the column to release the weight from the nuts while you remove them. Carefully lower the column, being sure not to pull or stress any electrical harnesses or crush any connectors or wires while you rest it down onto the inside of the dash. Now that we've dropped our steering column, we can access the clamps and bushings on the shift tube. We're going to do the front one here to make it easier to show you, but the process is exactly the same for the one in the rear. Remove the 2 T30 screws with a T30 Torx bit and a ratchet. Remove the clamp. You may have to loosen the screws on the opposite clamp a couple of turns. Then pry up on the bushing with a small flat blade screwdriver and work it off of the shifter tube. Here we have our old part that we removed from our vehicle. and our new part from 1AAuto.com. As you can see, these bushings and clamps are exactly the same. Our clamps are the same size and shape. We have the same bolt locations, same half moon to cover the actual bushing. What happens with these old bushings is you can see that this is getting worn out and stretched out from being on the vehicle for so many years. See that the grooves have worn away, the material's widened out a bit. This means that when you go to move your actual gear selector, as opposed to moving the actual portion of the selector you need to move, you're moving the entire tube, which is where some of that extra play feel comes in when you're moving your shifter. These are responsible for a lot of the sloppiness that is found very commonly in these vehicles. Fortunately, 1AAuto has a great quality replacement part for your worn out old bushings or broken clamps. So this part is going to go in direct fit, just like your original equipment, and fix you up right. Split the bushing, place it over the shift tube. When it locks into place, install the new clamp that comes with the kit over the top, and reinstall your two T30 bolts. Tighten down all 4 of them. Reinstall the steering column onto its studs. Reinstall the U-brace at the front. And start the 13mm nuts by hand. We'll leave these loose for now as one of our studs in the rear came out with the nut. So we'll need that little bit of room to line it back up and get it started again. Once we've got everything started, we'll tighten it down with a 13mm socket and ratchet. Reinstall the upper portion of the clamshell and the lower. These do have little plastic hooks on them, so snap them together. Reinstall your Phillips head screws. You should have 3. Again, our truck is missing 1. Screw the tilt column lever back into place. Reinstall the metal knee pan. Reinstall the 5 screws for the steel dash pan. Bring them down with an 8mm socket and ratchet. Snap in the top of the plastic knee pan. Reinstall the 4 7mm screws along the bottom. Remember to reinstall the hood release and the 2 screws that go in there. Reconnect the negative terminal. Tighten the clamp back up. We're going to use an 8mm socket and ratchet, or you can use a wrench. Ensure your connection is tight. And you're ready to go.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope this video helped you out. Next time you need parts for your car, please visit 1AAuto.com. Also check out our other helpful how-to as well as diagnosis videos.